Warning! The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil everything and anything, so you have been warned.
Dude.
So, who's introing?
That's probably
So you want to go,
me.
Jeanne?
Are you actually going to intro?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, why not? Alright.
Don't fuck up, Jeanne. This is like the old days again.
Give me a minute.
I feel like this is just a reoccurring theme that should be on our
know.
TV tropes page. It's just Jeanne, failure to start,
Yeah.
failure to launch.
Jeanne always has a anxiety attack before
Failure to
introing
launch,
PodTaku
yeah.
podcast. Yeah. Okay.
She always has false starts.
So, yeah. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us with another wonderful episode of PodTaku. I am Jeanne, and with me today, I have our usual wonderful co-host with me. I have Gigguk
Hi, I
from
am Jeanne
the Anime
introing.
Zone.
I sound like a robot right now. This is what you sound like, Jeanne. But hi, guys, I'm Gigguk.
Go fuck yourself. And then I have
This
Tristan
is going to be
from
a
Glass
wonderful
Reflection.
PodTaku, even though we have no idea how wonderful it actually is going to be. I'm just setting the bar pretty freaking high here.
And then we have Holden.
Looks like
from
my teleprompt isn't
HoldenReviews.
starting. I'm kidding.
Let me execute teleprompt.exe.
What are we supposed to do? Jeanne EXE is not responding.
Jeanne exe is failing.
Force quit.
Must restart. Must restart.
Gmail.exe
Alright,
has
so-
a virus.
Alright, listen.
Man, whenever Jeanne, like a minute ago, was
Listen.
like, "Oh my god, there's a virus!" Like, it was just like infection alert. It was like the bridge of like Whitebase or something, or just like an Ava bridge, like Nerve headquarters. It's just there's been an infection in Casper.
I was so
like,
nervous.
it was just fucking hilarious.
I'm so nervous because I'm so innocent and my computer's so innocent and it just felt so dirty.
It's
having
a virus.
on my
For the record,
computer.
Jeanne just found out that her computer has a virus and she had no idea what to do. So we informed her that she should probably delete the virus or press the quarantine button. Either one, but she still did not understand how to deal with a virus using antivirus software.
No, because I didn't understand the concept of having more than one option than to just get rid of the virus.
You can just save
So
it for
I was
later
just
and just give it to your
nervous
friends.
So you just-
I was gonna...
So what you did is you just pulled the
What
plug.
do you think emails are for?
No, I can just imagine you just panicking and you just pull the plug in your laptop or your computer and you go like, I don't fucking know what to do! It's dirty! I need to get a new laptop!
See, Jeanne,
Light that thing on fire.
just manually unplugging the Ethernet.
It's the only way to be sure.
Oh, yeah,
Double
that would... Just cut all connections
Yeah,
to
you'd
the
be like,
internet.
okay, time to go into physical quarantine mode. And you'd spray your laptop with like Germ-X or something. Like,
With,
No,
Lysol.
she goes to the pharmacy and gets some
fucking
Tylenol and she just pours it on top of her laptop.
Puts it in like my CD drive, just opens
Jeanne
it
was
up.
just like,
Some
computer
Tylenol.
Genki desu ka? Like, daijoubu ka? And she's just pouring Tylenol on the computer.
No, she gets like a wet towel and she
I get a
and
wet
she's just
rag.
like,
yeah.
She puts it on its
she's just
forehead.
like,
And the computer has like blush marks.
yeah, he must have a cold. Man,
Yeah.
I put it under the
to
blanket.
go off
I make
tangents,
it
man,
some
colds
soup.
in anime, They're like, for some, why are they always like
I've said,
smallpox?
they are lethal.
Because you realize that if you get a cold in Japan, it's like it's gonna kill you.
It is as lethal. It is as lethal as leprosy.
Yeah, it's like if
you are going to die.
If you have water splashed on you, then it's just like, oh my god, he just walked into a world full of like smallpox and AIDS, and we need to quarantine him right away.
He has all the AIDS now.
It's drizzling outside, and I was in the drizzling weather for 2 minutes, and now I have pneumonia.
That's the natural progression of things usually.
It's just.
But yeah, for anyone still listening to this,
but man,
this has been quite a tangent. Hi, this is PodTaku, and we just came back from a little convention called ACEN, where we met each other for the first time ever. Man, wasn't
like in real life, not in any other sense.
We can talk about our reality versus our expectations, which was, I think for me, finding out that these other three people had backs of heads. Because I never saw that whenever we used face cam. I've never seen the backs of their heads. So it was pretty jarring. No, the 3D figures.
Yeah. And I think
it was pretty weird.
Oh man, I think for me, it was just looking people in the eye, Holden. Especially when I met Holden for the first time, and in the most non-gayest way, you look at each other in the eye, and this is something you've never done before, even on camera, because you're looking at a screen and they're looking at a screen. But when you're looking at each other in the eye, you're just like, "What the fuck do I say?"
Cue careless whisper.
That was our transit ride back from Terminal 5. Was just, what the fuck do we say?
What's up?
It was just such
not much.
It was just such a surreal moment that nothing prepared us for. I mean, we obviously had our huge bro hug when we first met. I'm sure we all had our hugs, as you'll probably see the footage eventually.
Eventually, making a movie out of it.
Yeah.
But it was just such a surreal moment that it was just so much to take in. And man, I think you will all agree with me that ACEN was just one of the best experiences ever.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, it's like being roommates with like my three best friends. It's just like PodTaku all the time.
IRL
24 hours.
The best thing ever.
It's great.
And it's unfortunate we couldn't record a live podcast with all of us in the same room. If Jeanne's flight didn't get cancelled,
yeah.
Delta Airlines.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What happened, bro?
No,
American Airlines.
It was American Airlines at first. Delta brought me in. Yeah, American Airlines. Fuck you.
American Airlines were wonderful to me. They got me into Chicago 3 hours early.
Yeah.
They put me in first class.
No, I think one thing, because I think, well, I don't mean to like cut off the topic, but I can say without a doubt that we will most likely be doing ACEN next year. I'm gonna make sure I'm fucking there.
We are doing.
Well, I mean, what's funny is that Garrett was there before the convention started, like on Wednesday.
Technically, I was there before the convention started on Thursday.
I took Garrett to class with me.
Yeah,
we went to animation class, and it was great.
How was
me and Garrett were just looking at each other.
It was so fucking weird.
Yeah, me and Garrett were in class together.
Like
we were
how?
classmates. It was weird.
I know. It's like you go from meeting this guy on the internet to becoming friends to...
Well, it was weird.
I was just the weird transfer student at the end of the class. And I was like, hi guys, I'm transferring in for the day. And that was the start.
Yeah.
And that was the start of our anime story.
Yeah, and that was pretty great. But man, I remember whenever we got back to my apartment and we started a video call with Tristan and Jeanne. And me and you were in the same room.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what? And it was just the camera. It was so weird. Because then all me and you did that night was we played Super Smash Bros. Melee, Fox and Marth. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. No, and you guys were reading...
we were showing off our knowledge of Daojin. There's a difference.
We will get back to that. But
there you go.
Man.
There you go.
I guess there's just so much of that. What was your guys' highlights of the convention? I mean... I'm gonna say we'll talk about the panel later because I'm sure that was everyone's
not
real highlight.
The panel's kind of the obvious one.
Excluding the panel, what was your guys' highlights of the convention? Do you think
the post panel
or the post panel? Ooh, that was
the celebrity photo shoot that we had with the paparazzi and everything.
Man, do you know what I love about that?
Yeah.
The fact that we got out of the panel and we just got fucking separated by our own groups. And we were just like, where we weren't expecting this.
Yeah.
We just got surrounded and we were just like, what do we do?
What do we do?
I walked to like the corner because I thought the corner would be the place to go so people could surround us. And then it's just like, I look around, I'm like,
We all got separated.
Where is everybody? And then I try to look for you guys, and it's like getting stopped one after another by people.
We signed a lot of autographs too
Oh
there.
man.
And Tristan scribbled a school days game case. I saw that. That was pretty great. Whenever
Yeah, I saw that.
I
on
watched
Twitter,
it happen
and I was
live
like,
because the guy was kneeling and it was above his head, so he didn't know what was going on. And Tristan just signed his name in that first grader signature that he does, and then he just scribbled on it. It was great.
Yeah. No, but I would say my highlight of the whole convention, besides the post panel, was probably just walking around and just hearing people say like PodTaku, and it's like, then just turning around.
They wouldn't say that.
People.
They'd just say PodTaku ? And then they'd have the inevitable, oh my god, come look at a picture, we'll do. And it would be like, all right. That, or I'd say no. That, or I'd say, do you have $5 or something along those lines?
Man, you and Tristan got the screamer, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which, for the record, probably everyone we talk about is going to be listening to this. So, if for anyone we talk about in this podcast, put your hands up.
Shout out to my boy Sushi for buying us all food.
Yeah, and then our shout out to Rose and our shout out to Richard.
Richard, this guy.
Yeah, Richard, man. Richard, next year, leave us alone. Don't bother us as much and steal all the questions.
Well, no, it was just the question. The question is just what pissed me off is what. That's all. He's an alright guy. We saw him. It was fine. But man, he's alright. It was just whenever we had multiple questions. But the one thing that really set me off, and you'll see in the video whenever I release it, was I remember someone asked about, I think Black Bullet. And then you can hear Richard in the background going, I think it has terrible pacing. Because I'd heard that all week from him, and just hearing it at a panel, I was just like, shut up, Richard! No one wants to hear it! Man, that was so funny. Rose, not to disclose too much information about her, but she's an infant who flew from New York to see us.
So, for the record, she was, I think she was 13, and Jeanne, who had trouble getting away from her grandma at the age of 24, was outdone by a 13-year-old who went to see us. And I remember she was
also from New York.
She was so nervous the first time she saw us. We were standing by the snack bar.
I remember when we saw her at the concession stand after we saw Brooks, Subs and Dubs review. Because he was in his Purple Man cosplay from Kuroko no Basket. So while he was cosplaying the Hulk, which is what he does normally because he's like 6'7", we turned around, we saw her, and she's like, "Are you guys, PodTaku, Tristan, Gigguk, and Holden? Because you weren't here yet, Jeanne."
Yeah, at the time.
And we're like, yeah, in 1 second we're gonna take a photo with this guy. And whenever we turned back around to find her, she's just gone.
Well then.
It was like she was a ghost.
Yeah, it was like
she wasn't real.
It was like we literally turned around to take a photo, turned back around, and we were just like, there was a person standing here, and now she just disappeared. Like, she just disintegrated as we turned around. Like, we'd had no idea what the fuck happened to her. And also, tell them the story about you guys having the screamer as well.
Oh god.
Okay. Yeah. So, me and Tristan were stopped by a guy running a booth because he knew us. Yeah. He ran a visual novel booth. He gave you, I believe, what did you buy from him? Fate Stay Night, and I bought Witch on the Holy Night. And he gave it to us discounted because we're celebres and stuff.
Apparently.
But what happened was, while we were doing this exchange of money and stuff, this guy comes up behind us and goes, "Are you guys Arkada and Holden?" And we look at him, and we look at each other, and we're like,
"Yes."
No? Tristan of course says yes. I go, no.
Actually, I can't remember. We answered that question so many times. There were some times I've actually said no.
There were so many unique answers, and then there were some times where I'd say, "Oh no, you have me confused. I'm Meme Oshino." But I remember we said yes, and he says, the first words you hear are, "Oh my god." And then the next words you heard were just a mic peaking scream. Yeah, from this guy.
From a guy?
And me and Tristan we just put our hands over here. Okay, let's bring it down a notch. We're like,
We're in the middle of the dealer's room and people are staring and we're like, okay, let's
bring it down from 11 to like 1. Because, man, it was just so loud. He's like, oh, sorry, man. I'm just so fucking excited to see you guys. And I go, man, need to cool off? And we like took a photo with him. Because you guys probably saw this multiple times. I know I saw it and me and Tristan saw it. When people would with their shaking hand their phone to someone.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh shit.
It was this thing where it was just like, oh man, I have one chance to take a photo with them. I cannot fuck this up. And they just give the phone to someone and go,
now I have to hand my phone to some person I don't know who's never used the phone before. They better not fuck this up for me.
The best thing is when you obviously know the phone's just had a little hitch and you just go, my entire life has come down to taking this photo and my phone is just not responding. Oh shit, they probably hate me now.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Man, I remember whenever that one guy wanted to take a photo. I forgot who it was. It might have been Richard again. But he's like, how do we get someone to take a photo? And I go, watch this. And I just go up to I just pointed to some random guy and I said, hey, you. Yeah, you. Take a picture of us.
Yeah. That was
man.
Richard. Because he was like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
need
'cause we're the
another
whole
photo
team.
now
Right,
that
right,
Jean's
right.
here.
No, I remember
And
that.
he was like, man. Yeah. And he's like, wait, how do I get the photo?
One
And
of my
Holden's
favorite
just like, hold
moments
on.
in it, which you'll see in the video, which eventually will get released maybe next year.
Just in time for next year's ACEN.
Whenever I was taking
Yeah.
a selfie with the team on the blue carpet with all 4 of us, because our first photo all together, all of
Oh
us.
yeah.
And it was on video mode, and I pressed record, and it's just the reaction is so genuine behind all of us.
Yeah, I remember that.
And, man.
It was the moment we all met for the first time. The moment all 4 of us were together, and then we made a selfie, thinking,
Yeah, we all got together.
Yeah, this is our first.
yeah,
It was in front of the Crunchyroll.
Yeah, this is our
booth.
first time
Or the
with all of us, so we were gonna take a photo because this is our first photo with all 4 of us.
yeah.
Which is now the first video of all the 4 of us. It is what it evolved into. But man, it's the ultimate thing. I think I'm gonna close every live action video we have with that clip because it's so good. But man, I remember. I think another really awesome moment that we all experienced is whenever me and Tristan did it. When me and Tristan went on front of the Crunchyroll panel and we crashed the stream.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause we
yeah,
just stood there.
yeah.
We didn't say anything. And we weren't even front and center. We were in the background.
We were in the background,
Like, for the record,
and it was just me and Tristan sitting there.
there was like that stream went on like all the time during the con, and no matter when we came on, we would get recognized instantly in the stream. And I was just thinking,
Immediately.
who the fuck?
Like within 30 seconds because of stream
Yeah.
lag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, who the fuck is sitting on this stream who just constantly knows what we look like? That's really freaky. You know what I mean?
It was really cool.
Yeah. I thought that was...
I think what was really interesting
That was
that,
really freaking
so
cool.
since we were streaming it from the con, we had a video display of what it looked like. So there's a 15-second lag since we were streaming and hosting what we were with the viewfinder.
Yeah.
And so we would see our names on the screen before we could even see ourselves due to the lag.
Yeah.
Because the comments didn't have a lag because they were instantaneous because they're from the internet. But our display was lagged. And it was just so amazing that we could just we'd stand there for a second. And just people would be like, oh my god, it's Holden, it's Arkada, it's Jade, it's Gigguk, do JoJo poses, show us your butt. Like,
And then you have these other people that were standing in front of us having no idea what was going on, but it was just acting like...
man, and then everyone else, like people in full cosplay who were just showing off to the internet. And then they would look at us and they go, are these people important or something? Like, how do these people know who these people are?
Yeah.
It was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this?
I mean, there were so many moments that I remember that were just great. I remember one random moment for me, which, Jeanne, you weren't there at the time. It wasn't directly at the convention, but me, Holden, and Tristan were coming home from the convention or from lunch or something. And then I was like, man, I really need the toilet. So I walk in the hotel, and then I walk in the toilet, and then I look in the toilet, and there's just this massive shit that's just been left in the toilet.
Oh, man. Disclaimer, this
Thank
is
God
our
I wasn't
room.
there.
This is not a public toilet.
This was our hotel room. And I run out and I go, guys, who the fuck took a shit and didn't flush? And then we figured out that it was none of us. So we had this.
What's amazing was that we all inspected it. We were all very careful. It was like Hyoko. We were all very careful about who took this shit in this toilet. And if Jeanne was there, she would have been like, "Kinidarimasu!" And we were all there. We were all three of us were just being oreki. We were all just standing around this toilet. And I look at it, and my comment was, it's like Lincoln Logs. There's just multiple shits stacked like horizontally and stuff. And I look at it and say, this wasn't a one-person job.
So I come up with this theory that a fan or something probably followed us to our hotel room and left it there as a message of just, it's shit. So that
either that or like a sign of dominance.
My theory was
room
cleaning
God.
just hated us. That was my theory. I remember then whenever we were like, mystery solved, and then Tristan, you just flush the toilet. And we walk away and we go, mystery solved, and then we flush it.
Oh no.
And we're like, okay, no, mission accomplished.
Another one of my favorites was, oh man, just Jeanne and just Professor Otaku.
Oh god,
That
or
was
not Professor Otaku.
the best story ever. Oh god, Jeanne, we've got to tell this
Shut
story.
up.
We've got to tell this story.
We have to
Shut
tell
up.
it.
Shut
So-
up.
Yeah, we will tell it. Well, we're gonna
No.
tell it.
So
anyway.
Tristan, do you
No.
want to start us off with setting the scene?
Yeah.
Since
Professor
Professor
Otaku.
Otaku
Okay, so,
is your friend.
Prof is a good friend of mine from a previous podcast and website that I used to do and host my anime reviews and stuff on back in the day. And Jeanne was a fan of both me and him, apparently, at the time. So when I met up with Jeanne, or before, I think it was the night before when we were talking, she was just like, oh, Prof's going to be there, or I'm going to want to meet him, so you're going to have to point him out for me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then when we went to the one booth with the guy that sold us the visual novels, because I knew he was a fan, so I was like, oh, I'm going to drag Jeanne over here since she's here so you can meet her. And then I dragged Jeanne over, and then she starts talking to him saying, oh my god, I love your work and stuff, thinking that he's Prof, because I introduced him.
And this guy, first off, is wearing a serial experiments lane bear suit.
Yeah.
So, like, he's just this dude. He's just this dude who's just selling visual novels, having a gay old time. And Jeanne, he's just getting bombarded with this information. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's the way that Jeanne brings her hand out to shake his hand, going, I really, really respect your work, Professor Otaku. I really, really respect your work. And he was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Professor Otaku.
Yeah, I'm not Professor Otaku.
And then I'm just like, Jeanne, you know that's not Prof, right?
And then she walks away and hides behind, like, a steel I-beam that's supporting the building.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, I'm embarrassed. I don't know what I did wrong. And I'm like, well, first off, we didn't say it was Prof. We just thought it was a guy.
And then later,
Secondly, you're the one who-
when we were actually on the
Justin dragged me
escalator
over.
with Prof, I was like, oh yeah, Jeanne, this is Prof. And then she did nothing.
No, this is what happened. This is what happened because we're on the escalator and I'm, of course, the caboose on the line of the escalator going up. And I see this guy and I'm just like to Garnt, who is that? Oh, that's Prof. Jeanne! This is Professor Otaku! And I'm just like, what? It's like, well, I can't say anything because he's in the front of the line and I'm in the back of the line. And Garnt's just cracking up because it's like, wow, now you finally see him and it's like, you can't do anything about
It's because
Just
when she mistook that guy for Professor Otaku, that wasn't the first time. It was just the time before that, you were just talking to a random fan, Tristan, and Jeanne goes, is that Professor Otaku? And I go, no, Jeanne, that is not Professor Otaku.
Because I just see a dude with glasses, and I'm just like, is that Prof?
Yeah.
No.
Well, come on, because
I loved it because-
Brought you over because he was a fan who sold us some shit and he hadn't met you yet because you weren't there.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
I
he
love it
ask to
because
see
this
me?
was within the first 10 minutes of us meeting, and we were like, man,
Yeah.
Jeanne fail IRL,
Yeah,
this
it
is the most
was.
hilarious shit ever.
Yeah, we were just like, geez, Jeanne, you're just an idiot?
No. I think another moment was when we were eating pizza in the room, and you all were just watching me eat, I guess, and the cheese just fell off my pizza and hit the plate, and for some reason you all just start cracking up, and I don't know why. Because doesn't that happen to everybody?
Nah,
Doesn't cheese
it's
fall
just,
off the pizza?
it's just the way you do it, Jeanne. It's
You don't
just
remember
fucking
this?
Hilarious.
It's just, you don't understand. Like, get a mirror when you're eating next time, Jeanne. Because it was just hilarious. You looked like you were trying to imitate, a shark that was, and suspended in a pool for like some kind of evil scientist lair. Like you had your neck cocked back like Aki Kishimbo, and you were like had your mouth like it's a flip top jaw, and you're like, oh no, this is a pretty normal thing to do. And we were just like, what the fuck is this bitch doing?
No.
Oh, go on, Gene.
It was like you were imitating Pac-Man. Like it was just weird.
I don't.
Man, do you know I want to talk about though really quick?
Okay.
That was our first day. LineCon 2014.
Or the lack of LineCon 2014.
And how we didn't even need to be in it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so what happened is we waited in line to get our passes on, I believe, Thursday. And what happened was we were in this line and we were like, okay, whatever. And we got to the front line finally after like maybe 30 minutes. So it was pretty good. Also, there's people just taking pictures of us from the sidelines. And so on Twitter, there's just like these weird there's
Holden
just
has
these
appeared.
weird like voyeur pictures of me in line. It was some pretty weird stuff. But whenever we got up to the line and we all went to our things, we all went to individual stands and we were like, hey, we have reservations and shit. And the people go, it says that they've already been printed. And I go, ha 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 ha, that must be wrong. There's no way. I don't have one. And then we all congregate and we realize, guys, there's a panels booth over there. and we walk away and we're like,
Oh.
we did nothing wrong? This never happened? And we went to the panels booth and they just gave it to us because they pre-printed everything. And we were like, well, we can't get the cool, like, plastic ones now. We get the shitty paper ones. That was my biggest complaint. Was not that it was half price, which is my biggest compliment.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint was, dude, it wasn't even the plastic ones. They were just like the shitty paper ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
Wait, how did mine look compared to yours? Because I didn't have I didn't get the panelist badge because they only
Yeah.
allowed
3.
up to 3 people, right? So I got a normal badge, but I don't remember. I don't remember seeing the difference.
It was
between
just
yours
paper.
And yours badge.
It was just lame.
Man.
Everyone else had like
Just not cool.
ABS plastic or like just PVC,
Man.
Something.
but ours was just
Uh,
just paper, and it was just not great.
Gene, do you want to...
But man, I remember. Yeah, it was
Gotta
great.
get that paper.
Yeah,
Gene,
all about
do
the
you want
paper.
to talk about the amount of abuse you got at the Yaoi booth?
Can we just talk about the Yaoi
Oh,
guy
Jesus
versus
Christ.
the Daojin guy?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that, man.
Yowie! Get your yowie!
Get you guys bumfucking over here! It's a porno.
For anyone that doesn't know,
And then the Daojin, for the record, yeah.
for the record, there's this guy who goes around selling yaoi, and for all we know, he sells it around the world because I saw him the next week.
He shows up
MC
at like a lot of conventions.
Yeah, I saw him the next week at MCM London.
I actually hadn't
Yeah.
seen him in a bunch of years because he used to go to Anime North like a number of years
Wow.
ago, but then he stopped and I hadn't seen him. And then I was like, oh my god, I thought he like died. Or
Yeah, so basically, his job is to basically just shout abuse at. From my perspective, it's just to shout abuse at anyone who tries to look or buy any yaoi porn.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't even gonna go there. You and Holden were just like, "Come on, Gene."
Oh
no,
wow!
or
So
Holden
now we're
was
just
like, "Come on,
singling
Gene,
out me.
let's-
Okay.
Look at this. No, well, because it was
because
you.
I was the
you were
one
just like,
who
"Here,
bought
Gene."
retake. I'm
No.
sorry. Oh wait, that wasn't me. That was
Yeah.
Garn. No, it wasn't. It was
No, it was
Garn.
you.
I didn't buy anything from there.
I don't.
That was.
Whatever. No, but you brought me over there. Here, Gene.
I was like, hey,
look
look at
it's
this
yaoi.
fresh
And I'm just
cock.
like,
yowie,
all right,
get your
why not?
yowie.
Let me take a peek.
I wasn't expect.
And
it
yeah,
was so
he's
great
just in my
because the Daojin
face.
guy is just all like, "Hey man, it's all right. I just tell me what you want. I can get it for you. No questions asked. Like you can just get out of here. I'm not even looking at you right now. I don't even know who you are. It's an untraceable credit card thing."
Yeah.
And it was just like,
And the yaoi guy,
It was
the
so-
yaoi guy was like, "Hey, you there?
I will
you,
post on your face.
You who's trying to buy
The
porn."
Yaoi guy was, "I will post on your Facebook that you did this." Like, he's like,
Yeah.
"If you use a credit card, I will find out who you are via social media and destroy you."
It's like,
It's just like, I want you to look at 2 boys touching each other's pee-pees. Yes, keep looking. Buy something. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I just want to fucking leave now.
It
You
was
made me
quite
feel
funny,
very
just the difference
uncomfortable.
between the guy selling yaoi and the guy selling dojinshi. It's like, it's really weird how the yaoi guy...
It was the same booth, first off. I think it's really important to mention that. This was the same booth.
But it was just...
But two different sides of the left versus the right.
Yeah, it was just such different styles of selling, which we found fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we thought it was great.
Yeah.
I remember, I was like, dude, what is this? I was like, it was great. It was a really great experience.
And then I remember I went to the doujinshi side or whatever.
Doujinshi,
I can't say that word.
Doujin, whatever.
And it's like, there was like other guys looking through the books, and they just gave me this look like, fuck you, because I was a female.
The funny thing is,
I didn't tell you guys this. I got eyeballed like
there's
crazy
such like
in that area.
an assertion of male dominance there. It was great because it was like what we're doing is pretty pathetic, but it was just hilarious. These guys were just like, no man, this is serious. I know exactly what I want. I've got a list up here in my noggin.
Yeah, it's called
I know what I want.
It's called Evangelion retakes.
Yeah.
I want all the volumes, please, and thank you. And then they were in front of me, and I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted. Thank you very much for the porn.
But you guys are just they were just so territorial. So it's like, I'm getting these fucking
I'm getting
eyeballs,
these fucking
right? And I'm
eyeballs.
just like, all right. First it's the guy fucking yelling in my face to get the yaoi, and it's like, all right, man. Well, I mean, you're making it obvious that I'm doing something that I maybe should be ashamed of.
Which
Because
is
you're
not
just
is
yelling
not
throughout
the
the whole
best
dealer's
like
room?
selling stance.
No, exactly. So then I just go to the other side where it's nice
It's
and quiet.
dimly
because
lit,
like,
and
hey,
it's
I
just
mean,
got
hey,
just
it's
shady
cool.
people wearing hoods.
Yeah. And they're just like, why is this fucking 3D bitch here?
You
And
know
it's
what?
like,
That's a
all
really
right,
fair
well,
thing
I'm
to say.
leaving.
That to think that they would
You
say.
wandered into the wrong neighborhood, girl. this ain't for your
It's
kind
like,
here.
listen, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much is what it felt like.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I just felt embarrassed in one side, and then
Shunned,
just like
shunned in the other.
it's like the
yeah.
guy just wanted to cut my throat.
It was great,
Yeah,
man. I loved that.
fucking crazy. Yeah, great for
Man,
you guys.
I was just,
Bad
I was
for
so
me.
amazed by it. It was so great.
Yeah.
I remember what I did whenever me and Tristan were sitting for this manliest man competition panel thing. We didn't care about the panel. We just wanted to see the room because it was panel room 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was just checking my
That's
street
funny.
passes
You
at the
guys
time
just-
or something.
Yeah.
Which Tristan helped me set up, which is great because we got footage of that. And I remember just the amount of times we got noticed sitting down.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny to me because we were just sitting there and we didn't even get up to shake their hands or anything. And we were like, no, come down to our level and shake our hands and then we'll be on your way. But I think what was really great about that whole experience was whenever we saw the room and me and you, Tristan, I think we both knew we were like, you know what? We probably aren't going to fill this.
Yeah.
There's probably no way.
Yeah.
Well, because
Spoiler alert,
at
we
first when
did.
you're just looking at the map, I was really worried because like you look at the map and you compare it to all the other panel rooms, and it was the smallest room, and I was
it
like,
was just
oh,
like-
great, they shoved us into the small
10
ass
o'clock
room.
on a Sunday. We were just like, man, nobody's gonna fucking show up.
We're competing with church.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were competing with church, and we all know all anime fans are saints and attend church on the Sabbath every day.
Man,
Yeah.
at 10 a.m.
there was that one girl who said
Right.
Missed church, and I laughed so hard because that was my joke all week, was that we were going to be competing with church. So actually hearing it was just the best thing
Yeah.
ever.
But
Man.
then me and Holden got to the room and we just kind of looked inside it, and I was just like, that's a lot bigger than I thought.
We were like, there's just no way.
Yeah, we're not
We're
feeling
like, this
that.
is impossible.
and then
And then
I remember just,
oh man,
We did.
So
We did.
let's talk about the panel then. How did you think the panel went?
man, I think what was really shocking that we didn't realize was the sheer distances people traversed to attend to the panel.
yeah,
So, for instance, like we had people like Dakota Broski
Yeah.
and Subs Ruse who flew together from Salt Lake City, Utah. But we also had a group of people, that were
Right.
from Germany, that were from New York, that were
Yes.
from California, like just Florida, like everywhere. And I couldn't believe how far they traveled to do this one thing. And it was just like, it was so jarring because I finally realized just like the dedication of the fans.
Yeah,
And that was really amazing. I thought it was just crazy. But I think at the moment that I think that we can all thought was really amazing was whenever we see this line outside the panel room and we stop and we huddle up, we're like, guys, we could do this. This is gonna be amazing. We can do this, guys.
It was like team huddle. Just
yeah.
It's not on video because it wasn't recorded, but
Yeah.
that was a big team.
Because it was earlier. Yeah,
There was a team huddle before when we saw the line, and we're just psyching ourselves up like before the Super Bowl or something, and we're just like, guys, we can fucking do this. It's like Jeanne, you take the left, Holden, you take the right, and we'll fucking flank them, and we'll fucking do this, and go Team PodTaku.
Man, I remember we thought that line was not for us. We were like, there's no way that line that extends outside of the panel room and around the corner is ours.
And then we just hear the people screaming.
This crowd of people screaming. And there's just this line of people that are all just have
And
their
then-
hands out because they just want high fives. And
Yeah. Yeah. We're just like going
Gar
along,
had a
just touching
coffee,
everyone's hands.
and he just didn't do anything. He was just like, nope.
I was like, I had a coffee in one hand and a bag in the other. I was like, God damn it. I have no free hands to fucking just
Sorry,
high
guys.
five people with. Oh no. What I should have done is I should have just handed the coffee to a random guy and go, here, have a souvenir. Oh, no, just a random
To
man. It's like my lips touched this.
Really quick side note, Garn. Can we talk about coffee?
Oh,
just right
yeah.
now?
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Let's talk about coffee. And, let's talk about...
And Starbucks.
Let's talk about
coffee
that,
at the Rosemont
that
Convention
time
Center.
I got a Starbucks. So, me and Holden were getting a coffee at Starbucks. And for the record, this wasn't like inside ACEN. It was like in a convention room, but it wasn't like ACEN run, right? So...
No, it's a Starbucks with Starbucks employees, not anime Starbucks employees.
Yeah. So what happens is
Yeah.
I go to order my coffee and they obviously asked me to spell my name out. And then...
Well, they asked me to spell my name first, and it's, Holden.
And they asked me to spell
And
my
then
name.
they asked Garnt how to spell his, because it's pretty wacky.
And I say Garnt. And everything was all fine. And then me and Holden just waited for our coffees. And then the guy shouts out, "Is there like a Gigguk?" And I was just like, "Well, I think that's Jeanne. That sounds like my name." I go, "Yeah, that's mine." And I look at it, and I was just like, "Wait a minute. It says fucking Gigguk on the coffee cup."
But we didn't tell them that we were a Gigguk.
What? And I go, "Holden, did I spell
Wow.
my name out as Garnt?" And he goes,
And I go, no, because I spelled my name and you spelled yours.
"Yeah." And I go, look at this." And he looks at it, and he just goes, "I'm fucking done." He just walks out.
I go, I'm done. I go, let's get out of here. I go, that wasn't even an anime fan person. That was just some random bystander who worked at Starbucks. Like, if I went back there, I could be like, do you guys know Gigguk? And some employee would say yes, and that's pretty fucking wacky.
Oh man.
Wow.
But it was just such a weird... That was so weird. Shout out to White Girl Drinks. Me and my boy Ken, we drink up that chocolate chai tea latte with extra cream. It's pretty White Girl Drinks.
Oh man.
It was so weird. And then I remember the day of the panel, whenever you and Jeanne were in line to get Starbucks at the same place, and it just took forever.
Yeah.
And
It did, yeah. We were. What did we get out of line? Like
Something
maybe 9:28, and then it was 9:50.
gotta
It's like,
go.
all right, now it's time to go to the panel.
It-
Me and Garnt waited.
it was just
like a
me,
half
Prof,
hour
Hunter,
for our
who's our
coffee.
cameraman, and Tristan. Me were all just standing in the middle of the convention center, and we're just like, "Yeah, man, probably 10 people are gonna show up. It's gonna be great." And I remember there's this one black guy who I got on video. This black guy, the only reason I point him out
Oh my god.
is because he says distinctly, Tristan asks, hey, this guy's like, oh man, I love Clan Air, it's great. But then Tristan asks, oh, so are you going to be attending the panel on Sunday? And he goes, nah, dude, I got work and stuff, I can't come here. And then, there's video evidence of the same guy being there, he's just like saying, your power levels are shit, like, he's there. And so we have video evidence of him saying he can't, and then he is. Fuck you, you lied, we have proof of it, and I have it on video, and it's great. But it was just the way that I have just a full confession and full evidence supporting otherwise. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Do you guys have any favorite points in the panel then, if you do remember it? Because a lot of it I blanked out because I was literally just running on adrenaline. So,
I blanked
Yeah.
out for a lot of it. I remember there was a point I stood up and walked across the room for some
Yeah.
reason.
Oh,
I
man.
can't even remember why.
They said it something
because
about
the guy said
something
with-
about school days.
It was something about school days.
Would you want a second season of
He doesn't
something
even say
like
school days. He just
for
says
example,
something
school
like
days?
school days. No, he says something like.
No, he
He
did.
wasn't being specific. Like, would you want to see a second season of School Days? He was giving an
Yeah,
example.
he was
and that was
given
enough to piss off
an
Tristan.
example. Yeah.
And just
So he stood up and just walked over to the guy and just stood in his face and said,
yeah,
No.
And then he gave him a kiss
And
and,
I was
just
just
like they
like-
nuzzled noses and it was
Yeah.
adorable.
Oh man, the first
pretty
question.
kawaii.
Oh, the first question.
I think
Oh
the best
my
part
god.
was the
Oh,
first
yeah.
question. I couldn't look. I had to turn away. I just
I'm
couldn't
not
see that.
gonna
It was
spoil
too
the first
surreal.
question for when we release.
Yeah, we have it on video, so I will guarantee that they will know.
But the first question is definitely one of the highlights of the entire convention because it was something that me and Holden should have expected, but we just didn't expect
we
it.
didn't. We requested it like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
but we just completely forgot
it was
about
like
it.
episode 11 or
Yeah,
something.
and when the question was asked,
It was just so long.
I just
ago.
remember the whole room
my
just
God.
fucking exploding.
We
That was
all
great.
just started yelling and we were like,
Yeah.
"Oh!" It
No.
was great.
All right. Yeah, it was the first question. It was Tristan getting up to answer that guy's question, and then it
Oh,
was
the selfie, which you-
at the end.
Yeah,
The
which,
Twitter
which
selfie.
I've-
Yeah. I tried so
Man,
hard
but
to
the
get
video,
in it.
the
I just
video
couldn't.
selfie that I have,
didn't
which
know
I'll
how.
put in the final product, is so good.
yeah.
Like, it really just illustrates like
The-
how many people we had there on such a terrible day. I might add. Like,
Mhm.
I think that if we would have it on Saturday, we could increase it by like 25% at
yeah,
least.
most
Like,
definitely. Yeah.
Well,
It
because
was-
the thing with the last day of the convention is that a lot of people are also planning to leave. So for all we know, there are people who would have been there, but they had to go catch a flight, or they had to get in their car and drive halfway across the
Yeah.
country, or what have you.
Right.
And if we were on Saturday, we might get more people. But then if you're on Saturday, you're also competing with a lot more.
Man.
yeah, but I mean, I was really impressed just by.
To be honest, like after
Yeah.
seeing what we got on Sunday,
We could definitely take on a
Probably.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Next
Take on a
year,
Saturday.
next year, we'll definitely try to take on a Saturday. Because,
Dude, next year, dude, we're gonna stay in the Hyatt and
Yeah.
we're gonna go fucking play Super Smash Bros. Melee
Yeah.
in the room
Yeah.
in color.
Yeah.
Because I brought it to the room, to our hotel, room 807, go trash it. But I remember I brought it,
at the Hilton Garden
and
Inn
what
in
happened
Rosemont, Illinois.
was
by
we
the way.
had it. I brought my GameCube and Super Smash Bros. Melee, which me and Garnet have been playing all week before, so we were really good. It's funny how me and Garnet just switched between Fox and Marth, and that's the only two characters we use.
And then they
Yeah.
both like
Then we
tag
ruined
teamed
Jeanne
me.
later, and it was
and
great.
just,
But
like-
I remember we had it, and it was the TV just wasn't formatted. It was just didn't have just standard red, yellow, and white like connections for AVI. So it was just black and white with sounds. It was just so weird that we were playing this game black and white. Man, it was really fun
Yeah.
though. I really liked playing it
Nah.
at Anime Next as
I
well.
really, man,
it was
just
so fun.
I think it was just so surreal seeing you guys in real life, especially at the panel. Because at the panel, like there are some points that I just forgot that we were at the panel. I just thought we were recording like a PodTaku.
I
Yeah,
forgot that
no,
we
no.
were like anime fans, and I just felt like we were all just people.
Man, shout out to
Like,
the guy
we're
who,
just
shout out to the
real
girl who
friends.
brought her
That-
dad. And I remember just giving the dad the look, and I was just like, "You got to get out of here, dude! Like, you don't want to be here." Because I remember just this one. There was one weed in my Garden of Eden, and I just wanted to rip him out and just be like, "Get out!" Like, I know you don't know who we are. I don't like you. You don't like us. Just get out.
I love when in the panel where they asked us to say it's shit, and then Tristan goes, "Sorry, convention rules cannot say shit." And then
Tristan was the worst about cussing.
Yeah.
know.
Which I wasn't. I was under control.
yeah, because we couldn't cuss, but Tristan just couldn't stop saying shit, and we're just like, "Man, you're the one who's supposed to be upholding the rules, Tristan. You're just like a piece of shit for just saying this all the time."
One of my favorite parts actually, Garnt, is whenever I don't know if you knew it, but whenever I was editing the video originally.
Right?
There's a point whenever you say, "Yeah," and then the people fucked. Like you say that, and I was just laughing to myself in my chair while editing because I was like, "Man, that broke like every rule."
Yeah, I feel bad for the one that
I
asked
really
that question,
forgot
'cause we
sometimes
could've
because I
just
remember
done it.
one point when I just forgot I was recording. I wasn't recording a panel because I remember I
I
think
wasn't recording.
I
yeah.
think there was like someone holding like a Danganronpa bear, And I go, yeah, that girl with the Danganronpa bear.
Jean's like, I love that show. It's so fucking good.
And that,
And then Garn, after hearing these blood curdling screams from Jean, just turns to his left and goes, "What?"
I go,
She goes, "You what,
It's like-
mate?"
I just turn to my left with such anger and go, what? Sorry. Hold the question for a second.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this
remember
is
that.
too important for... Yeah, it's like, we are in a Q&A, but for a moment I forgot, and I just had to shout abuse at Jean for a second, and then get back to the panel.
I remember. It was funny because then we were like, "You didn't even finish it," because like we never even. She's like, "You know, I love it." I'm like, "No, we don't." We go, "You were arguing about blood. That was totally different." And she goes, "No, I love it. It's so fucking good." And she was just being a little bitch. And then Garn points to the guy and goes, "Okay, you need to ask your question right now before this gets out of hand."
Oh man, yeah, just remembering everything.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in the panel, which you guys none of you might remember, but maybe Tristan, because Tristan was the one who said it. And it was so we went from right to left or left to right if you were sitting in the audience, picking people to ask questions because that was all it was, just Q&A.
Yeah.
And it was your turn, Tristan, and you say, "Okay, everyone, put your hands up," like you're asking questions, and Tristan just goes, "Everyone."
Yeah, towards the end, because
Oh,
you saw
man,
that guy in the
yeah.
back, Holden, right? That was like waving, and we're like, "Wait,
The
does
guy
he
was
want a
giving us a
question?"
signal for
It's
5 minutes,
"Fuck,
and I was
no."
like, "Why the fuck is this guy waving at me?"
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Bro, calm down."
I was about to wave like bye.
I
and it's
remember
like,
whenever
oh,
we
that's
were
the
walking
5-minute
in
mark.
to the empty room by ourselves, and we were all just like, "What the fuck?" And we were just like, "This is weird."
Yeah.
And I remember whenever we met Paul, is his
Yeah.
name, because I've watched the video multiple times now.
Yeah.
And Paul is like, "Don't give alcohol to congoers," and we're like, "You what?" And we're like, "We weren't planning on it." And he goes,
Yeah.
it was just funny. He talking to the staff because it was like
They say it in such a way that it's like this has happened many a time.
they were so accusatory. Like they were like, "I know you have alcohol on you." We're like, "No, but good guess. Thank you."
I got some coffee.
Yeah, we're like,
about it.
No, I don't think that
Yeah.
happened. I will say, next time we do record it, I want to just
Yeah.
get so much more coverage of
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah, definitely. I think next time.
Well, because next time we might
Yeah.
even have more people. Like, I remember when I was meeting Mrs. Kenneth Bolito's mom, and I remember whenever I showed her the
Yeah.
footage of it, and she's just like, "You need to take Ken to this. He said I want him to be like you." Like, man, Ken's mom, first off, awesome. She was great. She was kind enough to let me stay at her house with such short notice, because I was going to be like Garrett and just stay in a hostel and almost get killed in New York. And I remember she was just like, "No, you need to take Ken. This is great." And it was just awesome because just her reaction to it. And then I remember Ken has contacted me since, and he's like, "I've clarified with my mom like 5 times that she was being serious," and she was. So we might have Ken from Full Circle there. Which would be great because
Yeah. And we will hopefully have some more J-Taku members joining us next year at ACEN.
and unrelated people like Rob. Man, I want Rob to come so bad because I'm like, "Rob, you're just my boy."
For the record, Rob is Ken's cousin who basically
Rob
filmed.
is Ken's cousin who got him into anime and makes him like cameras. He's everything he owes. Shout out to Rob, my boy.
So, do you guys have any final thoughts on your experience at ACEN before we wrap this up?
Man, it was amazing.
It was amazing, but we need to get the con hotel.
Yep.
My God.
Yeah. We actually have that on video
Yeah.
as well. Of just Tristan. We walk into the convention, into the Hyatt, and we see everyone.
Yeah.
And I just pan the camera to Tristan. And he just looks at the camera and goes, "We need to get a hotel here next time." Because it was so true. It's, we will be staying there next time.
I think it would be nicer if we could get a longer hotel stay of just like the day.
You know, like
before,
we
maybe
did, but
the
you weren't
day
there for?
after.
Well, that's, believe it or not, that's what we did. Yeah,
It's just
that's a
me
little
make sure
different.
that I'm fucking there for the whole time because I've never stayed at a
Yeah.
convention the whole time before. And
Yeah,
I
you
think that'd be
haven't.
great just
So
to
you've
do
only been
that.
there for like the tail
I-
end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been there the last 24 hours of the convention. And I want to change that, so I think hopefully ACEN 2015 will
Yeah.
change that for me.
Man, I'll be 21.
Just,
Ooh,
Well,
we'll
Yeah.
go bars and drinking.
yeah, we go drinking alcohol. Yeah, not like we didn't already. Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
didn't do
No,
that.
Jean did.
this
She
year.
got plastered.
No.
It was great.
Oh
Shut
man,
up.
we won't get into those stories. You can ask us in private in the next convention, I'm sure.
Yeah.
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 If you want to know what happened.
For my final thoughts, I just wanna thank everyone who fucking turned up to see us. I mean, this
Yeah, for
was
real.
thank you for everyone for making this the best fucking experience of my life. Like, it's pretty much up there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
To make this the best ever. I mean, you fans are amazing, and we hope we get to see you and more of you next year, because this was so amazing that we can't not do this, and we're going to keep I think one thing we agreed now is we're definitely going to keep PodTaku and J-Taku rolling. We're not going to stop this because we just fucking enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
And to the three of you, man, it's weird that I can say that you guys are probably my real life friends now. Like, we've met
Yeah,
IRL,
it's pretty great.
We've talked, and there's been no Skype lag ever, and that is just a barrier that I don't think, when we started this, we'd ever break. Like, I had no idea.
Well, like,
Yeah.
when we started this, we were like, why the fuck would we ever get in one place? Because Jeanne and Holden are on different sides of, like,
Yeah.
America. I'm in Canada, and you're across an ocean.
But I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, Psh,
After-
these
made
people
it
are
work.
stupid.
after having a weekend with you, and for Holden and Jeanne having 2 weekends, because we had Anime Next as well, which I'm sure you guys will hear a J-Taku
Yeah.
about. But I think this has just it's been great meeting you guys. And man, I can't wait to see you guys again next year. And I think it's really, really shitty that I'm going to have to wait a whole fucking year before I can see you guys. But it's going to happen.
Well, I think we'll all be waiting a year, but
Yeah, it'll be great.
be worth it. Now, it's just, I think the best part is just saying now, we're not just online friends on the internet. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
we're
pretty
real-life
great.
friends
Friends
now.
in RL.
Oh,
And I
real
think
dog.
that's just
I mean,
Yeah.
I
IRL friends.
think
and I think that's one of the
hardest parts
best
was
things.
saying goodbye to everyone. Not to bring it to
Man, I got a good picture of Garnt crying with me. It was great. It was just the first time me and Ever Garnt said goodbye, and we were at the train station, and we took a selfie. I should almost put up a comparison between me and you there.
Yeah.
Because we took selfies when we first met and when we left. And just, Garnt's face is so broken in the second one. He's just like, I'm so sad. It was...
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was just watching everyone leave one by one for
Yeah.
me. It was just so weird.
was-
Yeah, because you basically live there.
Yeah, and I remember
So you watched everybody
Yeah.
show up and then everybody leave.
I remember just watching.
It was the ending of Angel.
It was like the ending to an anime, man.
It was the ending of Angel Beats. That's what it was like.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
compared it to originally.
You just see everyone graduate one by one and just disappear, and that's exactly what it was
Yeah.
like. Just seeing Tristan go,
I remember just.
and then Jeanne go.
I remember, when we were out to eat with Josh, and Josh, maker of Hummingbird, my boy, and
Yeah,
his
shout out
wife,
to Josh, man.
who was wearing a pink wig that Josh wore later, and it was great. It was the best thing ever. But we were out to eat with them with Prof and Hunter. And I remember when we were leaving, it was just Prof is going to drive not Garnt, but Tristan to the airport. And I remember it was just so weird, because just like the wind was blowing, and it was just so cool. And it was just,
It's pretty frosty.
it was just one by one, we were all just leaving. And then Jeanne got in a Uber cab, that fucking unmarked black vehicle.
Do you want to tell a story of you and Tristan saying goodbye? Because I think that's the coolest fucking thing ever. Just when you guys say goodbye.
Yeah, whenever me and Tristan said goodbye, I remember we just looked at each other and we just shook hands. And I said, sayonara, see you later. And he just looked at me and he said, stay frosty.
And then I just turned and walked away.
And we just turned and walked away from each other. And it was just this unreal moment of just like, it was just like, we've done our mission here. I'll see you around. Like,
And then fade to black and just play the credits. That's
it was great.
That's basically it.
And then, whenever we got back to the Rosemont Convention Center, Josh, my boy, using Uber, a taxi ordering service with your mobile device, you via PayPal or something. You can't use PayPal. And he ordered
that's
a
pretty cool.
black Escalade. and And
For me.
he just ordered this
I went out in
Escalade that
class.
just pulled up, and they opened the door for us and everything. It was awesome. And I remember Jeanne just gets in the car and she's just crying, and then me and Garrett just look at each other.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I just couldn't look at you guys because it's just I couldn't. I'm just.
And then
looking
I
away,
remember
like,
me and Garrett
tearing.
looked at each other, and we just said, "It's just back to you and me."
Yeah.
Because that's how it all started. It was so funny how me and Garrett were the first ones there and the last to leave.
Yeah.
And then we walked with Dakota and Brooks plural, to the Blue Line station because they were one at McDonald's. And we went to the Blue Line station at Rosemont, and Garrett was going towards O'Hare. I was going towards Forest Park, so we were going completely different trains. And I remember the train shows up, Garrett, and it was so unreal. Because then we just get on the train and we just look at each other while I'm standing on the platform, and you just look at me through the window, and I just wave goodbye.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's back to one.
Yep.
And it was just, I will say, I think I had way more fun at ACEN, just retrospectively, than Anime Next, because ACEN was just a better venue in general.
Mm-hmm.
But also, just like, ACEN symbolized so much more than Anime Next.
Yeah.
Anime Next was like a thing that we just did for fun.
A bonus thing that just happened.
But Anime Central was just, it symbolized just a complete shift and turning point.
Yeah.
In
It symbolized the next,
our own relationship as friends.
just the next step of our friendship, I think.
Mhm.
Sounds gay,
yeah,
but
it was just,
that's how it was.
yeah, it was. And
So if you...
it was just,
Yeah.
it was great.
If you guys want to be there for the sequel to this movie that we just described, then join us in 2015 at ACEN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our
Anime
teaser
Next.
trailer.
LineCon
Yeah.
2015.
Hopefully we'll have a bigger budget and it
Yeah.
won't suck like most sequels do. So, yeah, Jeanne, do you want to take us out of this convention podcast?
Come on, Jeanne.
Yeah, and so
Are you?
I'm Jeanne from Anime Appraisal, and with me today, yes, I am. I
I'm
had
Gigguk
Gigguk from the Anime
and I'll
Zone,
see you guys next time. Next year.
and then I had Arkada.
Some motion
from
that says
Class
we are now
Reflection.
shaking hands. Stay frosty. Turn. Walk away.
And then
With my
Holden
hand
from
up waving.
HoldenReviews.
Sayonara. See you later.